And so, with the ease of that legendary acrobat, the engine swings smoothly round, and within a few seconds it has turned a half circle, ready to drive off again. The table is stopped, and the engine chugs off with slow dignity in the direction of the coaling plant. Here, 500 tons of coal are stored to feed the ever-hungry locomotives. The coal wagons are shunted into place at the foot of the plant, locked to a section of the line, and then taken up, and by this means a plentiful supply of coal is always on hand for the engines. At first sight, this seems like carrying coals to Newcastle, but on inspection we find it quite logical. At the top, the truck is automatically tipped and empties, then starts its journey down again. Here, everything is done in strict rotation. After the engine is turned, it comes along for its supply of coal. The chute is opened and 7 tons pour in. Not a bit too much nor too little, just enough for a 400-mile journey. Then off she goes again, this time to take water. The fireman makes sure that the leather hose pipe is properly in the tank, otherwise he might get a soaking. A streamliner takes 5,000 gallons of water, which has been specially softened. You see, engines prefer it that way. Next, the front is opened so that the smoke box can be cleaned out. Ashes and clinkers must be completely removed from all corners so that the fire will draw well when it's relit. Who would know better than the ladies the importance of appearances? And hence we find the toilet of these monsters is left in their capable hands. Wheels, rods, and bodywork are polished up until they shine like new pins. It's wonderful what a bit of well-applied elbow grease will do. But things are not always plain sailing, and sometimes an urgent repair has to be undertaken at the shed. Here, for instance, a pair of wheels is receiving attention. Constant running means constant overhauls. Outside, the engine is waiting to have its fire rekindled. A few shovelfuls of coal are put into the firebox together with a special fire lighter. Within a couple of hours, it is burned up nicely, although it takes about twice as long before enough steam is produced to start the journey, when a blazing inferno turns water into driving power. We'll refrain from telling this gentleman any funny stories about wheel tappers. It may be just as well, for it's obvious that this is a highly skilled job. To the experienced ear, the ring of the hammer conveys the soundness of the wheel, and the slightest fault can be detected when the hammer strikes. In fact, the whole safety of a train may well depend upon the alertness of this man's ears. Our railways have always played for safety, and their achievement is envied all over the world. Before each journey, the brake mechanism is inspected. Various methods of braking are employed. Even the smallest fault may endanger the safety of the train, but thanks to the vigilance of the railway engineer, nothing is overlooked. The pressure is checked on the gauge, and outside, the engineer's mate watches to see that the actual brake works smoothly. The test finished, they move on to the next engine. This introduces Tom and Fred, driver and fireman. After signing on, they look at the notice board. Schedules are sometimes altered at short notice. Then they collect their kits from the store. Yes, oil lamps are still in use, but soon they'll miss the smell of oil when they change over to electricity. Sometimes they get a different engine and wonder what today's will be like to handle. for locos, like men, have characteristics. The lamp denotes that they travel light engine. Leaving Tom and Fred to check over their engine, we go over to the carriage department and find that here 7,000 coaches are cleaned inside and out every day before you and I are allowed in. First, the carriages are drawn through this unique contraption which thoroughly cleans the woodwork, washing away all the dirt and grime of the tunnels and tarns. Water is forced through these giant mops, which are kept revolving while the carriages pass along, thus ensuring that each one is evenly washed, while outside the men scrub the woodwork to get off the loosened dirt. With that job finished, the coaches are polished, but there are many other things to be seen to as well. And to keep the wheels turning smoothly, the boxes are topped up with oil every day. In fact, every working part receives attention, just like the engine. Inside, the women are busy sweeping up the ravages of the last journey. If they were asked, they'd tell you that smokers are the most untidy folk, with bun munchers a good second. And it's surprising how many people forget the pennies on the empties. Every set of carriages is equipped with a dynamo which supplies the light. These are driven by belts off the main axle, and as soon as the train reaches about 30 miles an hour, electricity is automatically generated and stored in batteries which have to be regularly checked to make sure that they are in order for a long journey. At last, all the various jobs are finished, and along moves the shunting engine to pull the carriages to the station. But first comes the business of coupling up and connecting the vacuum brake. For no matter how short the journey, the brake must work throughout the train. Within a few minutes, they arrive